How's it going? Today is Wednesday, June the 15th. Today is a rest day, and it could not have been more welcome. So just to kind of recap, the last couple of days, Sunday was a rest day. Had a 5-mile run on Saturday, so Sunday was a rest day. And then Monday I had a 4-mile run, so that 3-mile bumped up to 4 miles. And then Tuesday, the 5 miles from the previous week bumped to 6 miles. And so today, I was feeling a little sore this morning, actually. And I think it was just a combination of the back-to-back runs, 4 and 6 miles for Monday and Tuesday. Legs were sore. But what's weird is while it was, for those of you who aren't in the Tennessee middle area, the temperatures this week have been over 100 as far as the heat index. And so it's been absolutely brutal, and running is really not a good time to run just because of the heat. I mean, the low, I think Monday night was like 81. Yesterday was a little cooler, and I think tonight's supposed to be a little cooler as well. But I mean, even at 9 o'clock at night, it's just still so hot. And so last night's run was probably 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish when I went out. And even though it was hot, it felt good. And I know that may not make sense, but I can feel the process improving my endurance. And that's the purpose of exercise and training. When we exercise, when we push ourselves each time just a little further, that's the purpose of exercise. Is it's to help us find that limit, push past it, and then find a new limit to grow, to improve our performance. And so even though it was super hot, the pace does not reflect, Monday and Tuesday's paces don't really reflect the overall improvement, I guess, because they were still slow paces. But the feeling I had during and even post-race, that I feel improvement already. So as an example, week 1, we had 20 miles. Week 2, we're going to have 25 miles by the end of it. But week 1, the average heart rate, I know it was definitely north of 160. I know I was knocking on 170, and even at one point I was over 170, which in prior years when I would run, for me to be a 170, 180, I mean, I'm pretty much maxed out. And what's funny is in comparison, like Mandy and I will go on a run occasionally, and she might max out at like 200 beats per minute when I'm sitting here at 160. So I think that the heart rate, while it's a good gauge of your performance or your threshold, just because I say 160 or 170, that does not necessarily relate to someone else. Me being 6'8" and 213 pounds right now, that's going to be a very different from someone that's 5'8" and 150 pounds. And so kind of the same with the steps per minute, like the cadence. A lot of people look at cadence and you're like, oh, you should be doing 190 or 200 steps per minute. That's going to be different for someone like myself that's 6'8". Naturally, when my wife and I go to run, she's taking 2 to 3 steps for every one of my steps. And so metrics are really good when you're running to measure performance, but a lot of people put way too much weight on those. And like, I know Kipchoge, fastest man in the world, I don't think he runs slower than 190 steps a minute. The cadence, the turnover is a lot faster, but the thing is, he's a lot shorter. And, it's just, you got to find what your metric is. And I'm not saying you can't improve those metrics either. Like my steps per minute, I may be running 150 to 165, steps per minute. I'd love to be 170, 180, but until my body is at the level to be able to maintain that, I can't use 170 or 180 as the end all be all of how I measure my performance. And so, that being said, today being a rest day, I wanted to just kind of do a little video more of just recapping the feelings to date. So this would be, I guess, day 10, if I'm not mistaken. We got Monday, we'll count it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So day 10. And through 9 days, I guess technically 8 days of exercise, I feel the progress. I'm really looking forward to seeing the moments when the performance, the times, and the distances start showing more improvement. Right now, it's more about establishing a base of mileage for training. But at some point very soon, it's going to start being that moment when you start seeing, times drop, distances push out further, and I'm excited, for that. Nathan's done a great job. So just to kind of go through a little bit of our deal, last Monday, he sent me the training plan, and we worked through that. He's been accessible by phone, email, whatever I need. It's been a really great experience so far. We're a week and a half in, but, I'm looking forward to, finishing this 14 weeks out. And, he's been available to answer any questions, which is good. I got week 2 training. I think I got that Sunday evening, which was great. So it allowed me to go into Monday prepared for, distance of what I was going to be running on Monday. And hopefully in the next little bit, maybe in the next week or so, we'll be able to get together and film some of the daily run. He lives kind of close to me over there in Franklin County in Winchester, and so I think we're going to try to link up and do a couple of runs together. We've ran in the past together. We've done some speed work together, although our speed works are very different because he's a lot faster. We will get together and do some video and some runs together, and get him included on some of these vlogs for sure. One other development over the last week is Kat Coffee. I'd mentioned her being a nutritionist. She reached out and inquired about kind of helping me in whatever area of that I felt like needed. And to be honest, I have no base on the nutrition and hydration side because it's just not anything I've ever paid attention to. I know you need to drink water, but that's about the extent of hydration. And as far as nutrition, I know the more you eat, the more calories you eat, the less calories you burn, it's not a good thing. So finding that balance of where you eat enough calories to sustain and fuel for exercise, but you don't eat too many calories. And my approach has always been to try to be in a caloric deficit. So I'm, basically losing weight and shedding weight. And that's one thing that Kat said is there's more ways to do that than just being in a caloric deficit. And so, I sent her some information, I think starting on Monday, to kind of analyze daily diet and those kind of things, and then send her some metrics as far as body and stuff today. And we're going to kind of start working out a nutrition and hydration plan. She's going to offer some suggestions. One thing that I thought was funny was she asked, do you have any, hydration or nutrition things that you do when running? And my answer was no. I really don't. And I know that's bad. I really should have that, but I don't. And so I'm still extremely optimistic that this will be a good training block to see where I really am versus where I've been in the past. I mentioned this before, but my PR was in 2019 in New York, and it was a 3:58 marathons, 3 hours 58 minutes. And I have to be down to 3:05 to qualify for Boston. And that's a huge gap, very big gap. I mean, you're talking about a 53-minute PR, and it's going to be a daunting task. One other thing I'll add, today I saw where the Boston Athletic Association, that they basically run the Boston Marathon, put out that they were going to open the registration to 30,000 runners for the 2023 Boston Marathon. When I looked just about 2 weeks ago, there were already 43,000 qualifiers out there. And so basically that means you have 13,000 people. If everyone that's qualified puts in to run Boston, you have 13,000 people that will not get in. Now, one caveat to that is it is divided by gender group as well as age group. And so it will depend upon who has the fastest times within those pools of each age group and each gender. And so that's, I guess, some bit of a good news, but I do have to, just looking at the facts, I do have to run a time faster than my Boston qualifying time. No one's guaranteed just because I run a 3:05 or a sub 3:05. That doesn't mean I'm guaranteed to get into Boston. And so I say that to say that after talking with Nathan today, I think our plan is going to adjust to try to shoot for a 7-minute flat pace or a 3-hour flat pace. And so that would be kind of the target, to shave a few seconds off of our pace and get that time down from, say, 3:05 to 3:03, maybe even a little faster than that. So I don't know. I've never stuck with a training block in any of my races that I've run previously. And I've never properly nutritioned or hydrated. And so I don't really know what my body could do with the proper nutrition, proper fueling, proper hydration, leading up to a race as well as going into it. My approach in the past has always been run what feels good, which is a great approach, but you don't necessarily push your body to the point of finding that limit. And then on the nutrition side, everybody knows you eat pasta the night before, so, or carb heavy stuff. So my approach was, just kind of eat a big meal the night before and grab the water as you're passing the water stops on the run. And that's not the best approach. So we're going to dial that in. And I think that'll really help shave some time off. I think back to 2018. 2018 is what I would classify as probably to date my best physical year. I was in the gym, 2-3 times a week. I was running consistently. And I think back to like my middle half, which was the PR that I have in a half, and that was an hour 36. I felt absolutely great. And that was even without having a proper nutrition or proper hydration approach going into the race. It was just my body at that time. My muscles were more developed because I had been hitting the gym and doing heavy lifting. And then my running, I was doing consistent running, anywhere from 3 to 6 miles, probably 5 times a week. And so that translated into a good performance, but it was not catered to a run distance. And so that's why I'm excited about this year because, or at least this training block into September. One thing I thought was interesting too, the Boston Marathon, the qualifying time is going to open on September 12th through this September 16th, and this race is on September 11th. So it literally is the last moment to run a race and qualify before that registration opens. And so I really hope that we're able to train good, stay healthy, be good on the nutrition and hydration, and go into that race very prepared and qualify. That's the goal. So I'll wrap it up. I think that's enough kind of summary of the last week and a half, and also looking forward to the qualifier and talking a little bit about that. So all I'll say is if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to the channel. I am trying to grow this channel. I really would like to grow it. And so if you're watching this, please do me a favor and subscribe. If you want to be notified whenever new videos come out, I appreciate it if you'd hit that bell. And then, share the channel. If you have runner friends or anyone that you think would benefit from it, please share it. I am truly a amateur runner. So if you want to know what it's like to go through this process, not as a professional athlete, not as someone who has trained in the past for runs like this, I am going at this completely green and learning as I go with a coach and someone to help me through the nutrition side of things. And so if you want to glean any information from that at all, please follow along, subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook, which is just James Fuller. You can follow me on Instagram, which is Fuller Runs, all one word. There is a podcast page if you want to follow me on a podcast. I'm sure there'll be several episodes on that, and that's just the On Pace podcast. You can find that on Instagram at on.pace. And so those are some ways that you can follow me. And you can also subscribe by clicking over here toward the end of the video, the little circle. And then there's also a playlist that I'll put up as well if you want to look at the other Boston or Bust videos that I've done so far. You can click that box whenever that pops up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a blessed day.